Hello and welcome to Game Boy Classics. In this installment, the game is Star Trek 25th Anniversary, released by Konami in 1991. This is a totally different version of Star Trek 25th Anniversary as opposed to the PC and NES versions that carry the same name. And this is arguably the best version of the three. A lot of people don't really remember this game that well, but this is actually a Star Trek shooter. A horizontal side-scrolling shooter, Star Trek themed. Yeah. So this is for the TOS, and the plot basically involves the episode The Doomsday Machine. This is like a sort of pun on that, taking that idea and making a video game out of it. So, yeah, like, your thing is to find parts to blow up this Doomsday Machine. So you get to choose your path to the planet, which is on the very far right. So, the most direct path to go there is through the asteroid belt. So we have to fight through the asteroid belt. So yeah, it's a Star Trek shoot 'em up. What's interesting here is you can press the start button to bring up this menu. This allows you to allocate resources around through three things. Shields, which basically accounts to if you get damaged. If maximizing your shields will, make you take less damage, and minimizing your shields will, make you take more damage. Speed, this is basically your maneuverability, and phasers is basically how strong your weapons are. You can make everything balanced, but really the way to play it properly anyway, if you want to play it smartly, is to maximize your speed, because it's smarter to avoid objects than it is to run into them and have more shields. And then allocate whatever's left to your phasers. So something like that. Phasers can be shot infinitely, but you also have the ability to shoot photon torpedoes in a spread, but you only have a limited number of torpedoes. Your goal is to get from point A to point B, and you do this by going forward. There are rifts in space that you can go through. You want to avoid the planets because you can be crushed in their atmosphere. Or maybe those are just really big asteroids. It's hard to tell on the black and white Game Boy what things are. But man, did I play this game a whole lot when I was a kid. This was one of my favorite Game Boy games. Not only because I like Star Trek, but also because, I like shoot-em-ups and I like Konami games, and, this was all three of those things all in one. Originally, on the monochrome Game Boy screen, you couldn't differentiate between what was moving and what wasn't. Here you can tell the blue ones are moving, and the like the goldish ones are the standalone, or the ones that don't move. Stationary, that's the word I'm looking for. Once per level, at any level, you can press back and select and do a manual little zoom. Sort of little cheat code. I learned that when I was a little kid, and I still know it today. It's funny how these cheat codes, get ingrained into your psyche, and you just remember them forever and ever. Especially the very simplistic ones, If that was like a, up, down, left, A, C, or or something like that. Yeah, that was like a complex code. I'm not talking about the Konami code, but if it's something complex, I probably wouldn't remember it. So you come out on the other side, and then you can choose which way you want to go. You want to go to another asteroid belt? Do you want to fight Klingons, or do you want to go into the space amoeba? Let's go into the space amoeba. This is another TOS reference episode. I believe this was the Immunity Syndrome. It's the one where they encountered the giant space amoeba. But it wasn't quite this giant. But whatever, they're taking licenses, making a Game Boy game out of Star Trek. So, I gotta give them credit where credit's due. This is pretty inventive. And because it's, a shoot-'em-up game, you don't really have to even like Star Trek to, really appreciate this game. I gotta be careful here, because I'm almost dead again. Whoops. Alright, manual zoom. Alright, I'm out. Alright, let's go to Space Amoeba 2.0. The second Space Amoeba will be a little bit more challenging than the first one. Luckily, your shields get restored in between levels, so even if you took damage, it doesn't matter as long as you didn't, die. Alright, come out to the other side. I could do the asteroid belt, but let's just go to the planet. And here's the other part of the game. So you play as Kirk, and you go around, and you have two different modes of your phaser. You have stun and full. Stun is basically useless, so you want everything on full. Your object here is to track down machine parts, and once you have all the parts, you can leave. You can check where you're going on the tricorder by pressing start, and you want to go in whatever direction has the most arrows. Careful. I don't know what these things are. These are like pits or something. Oh, I still gotta go more. Alright, that must be it. Yep, that is. So you take it out with your phaser and get the part. Although this part of the game isn't nearly as fun as the shoot 'em up parts, it is, you know, quite enjoyable how it breaks up the action, so you're not just constantly doing the same thing over and over. And it does lead to a nice climax at the end of the game where you have all the parts, and then you do a shmup battle with the Doomsday Machine. McCoy wants something. Thanks. Very useful. Come on. It's a phaser cell. Useful. I need that. Well, anyway, this goes on for a bit, and you collect the 4 parts. I only have 1 of 4 so far, and after you have all the parts, you can leave, and then go to the next solar system where you, generally speaking, repeat the same thing. Although you might fight other things, you know, you might fight Romulans as opposed to the Klingons. All sorts of TOS-era stuff. Well, anyway, that'll about do it for this video. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, Bob. There it is. 2 parts. See you next time.